Welcome, dear students, for the first segment of the grade 11 mathematics class of St. Peter's College, Colombo 4, Negombo branch. Today, our lesson is going to be quadratic equations. You have already learned about quadratic equations in your previous grades, especially in grade 10, where you have learned about quadratic equations that were easily factorized. And using the factorization method, you have already found answers by simplifying quadratic equations. So before we move on to the grade 11 part, let's remind ourselves what we have already done in grade 10. Let's take the very first question. This is already simplified, already factorized. So what you're going to do is, we take either this value is equal to 0 or this value will be equal to 0. So we write x equal to 0 or x plus 5 equal to 0. And then, since here there is no change, you can change this value, taking plus 5 to the other side. Then that is going to be equal to minus 5. And we put and here. And that's all. If you consider the second one, it is not factorized. So first of all, you have to factorize the given quadratic expression. You have to break it into factors, proper factors. Then I will break it as x and x. X has to be divided into two parts as x and x. And 42 should be divided easily. 42 can be taken as 6 times 7. The next issue is about the sign. When you multiply these two, you will get x squared. That's fine. When you multiply these two, you will get 42. But the problem is you need to find a minus value. To get a minus value, one of the brackets should be plus and the other bracket should be minus. Then to select to which bracket we are going to give the plus sign and to which bracket we are going to give the minus sign, we will check the sign here, that is the sign in front of x, and that sign will be given to the larger number, and the rest of the sign, that is opposite sign, will be given to the smaller number. Again, when you break it into factors as x and x, and 42 is break into 6 and 7, as 6 times 7 is 42. When deciding on the sign, here it is minus, so you can't be giving plus to both the brackets, because plus into plus or minus into minus will be a plus value, so you can't put minus or plus to both the brackets, but therefore you have to use plus to one bracket and minus to another bracket. So that's what I have done here. I have to select the sign here and give it to the the larger value, and the opposite sign should be given to the smaller value. Then in the normal order, we can take either x plus 6 is equal to 0 or x minus 7 is equal to 0. Then take the value, then x equals to minus 6 and x equals to take minus 7 to the other side plus 7. This we have done previously. In the previous years, you have already done this part. Because these are easily factorized, we factorize the given quadratic equation and then find the values for x. Now in grade 11, we need to understand the quadratic equations we get. We cannot factorize and simplify. Hence, we are using two methods. The first method we are going to discuss today, that is completing the squares method. For the exam, especially for the O-level paper, this question is included in the second paper, that is Mathematics 2. Probably between question number 3 and 5, there will be a 10-mark question from quadratic equations. So we have two methods of simplifying quadratic equations. One is the completing the squares method, the other one is the formula method. In the exam, you will be asked to use either the completing squares method or any other method you prefer. So that means either this method or the formula method you can be using. But the knowledge on completing squares should be there, because even in graphs sometimes we might have to use this situation, or sometimes in questions using completing squares is easier than the formula. But that you can decide. But first of all, let's check how we are going to simplify a quadratic equation using a completing scarce method. Right. When using the completing scarce method, the very first thing that you have to check is you have to check whether the x squared value is alone. That means whether the coefficient is 1. If you have a different value or different number in front of x squared, before using the completing scarce method, we need to do another step. But here that is fine. In front of x squared you have 1. That you don't have a number, that means you have 1 here. So now it is okay. So the first step you do is, first you have to take the whole number to the other side of the equation. That is, we have minus 3 here. Minus 3 will be taken to the other side as plus 3. Now I have to select the number in front of x. First, take the whole number to the other side of the equation. Second, take the number in front of x separately. Divide it by 2. Always you have to divide the number by 2. You have to take the number in front of x with the sign, divide it by 2, and in the other step you will get an answer. Take the answer and square it. Again, when you are starting to simplify this equation using the completing scarce method, first step, check whether x squared is alone or there is a number in front of x squared. If there is no number in front of x squared, nothing should be done. Take the whole number to the other side of the equation. That is the second thing you have to do. Take the whole number to the other side of the equation. Then in the third step, take the value in front of x. Take the value in front of x separately, divide it by 2 and you will get a value. Take that value and square it and you will get an answer. This answer you have to add to both the sides of the equation. That is, you previously had this equation x squared plus 2x equals to 3. Now I am going to bring this value and add to both the sides. After squaring you will get a value. Take the value, bring it to the equation and add to both the sides. Now this side of the equation I can write as perfect square. You have already learned, if I have consider x plus 1 square, I can open the bracket as x squared plus 2x plus 1. This we have done in binomial expressions. How to simplify or how to expand this type of expressions. Now what we do is, we have an expression like this. We are going to bring it back to the bracket. We have to bring it back inside the bracket. Okay. So now for that purpose, you have two x's here. That is, there is x squared. Take one inside. Okay. Then usually this is easy to do. It in this method. You will get an answer here. Bring that answer and put inside. That is the most easiest method. You take x value, you divide it by 2 and then you get an answer. You take that answer and put it here and then you can complete the bracket inside again. After you come to this step, the easiest way of taking it inside a bracket is, you have two x's here, you have double x's here, take one x inside. To the other remaining part with the sign, you have to bring this answer into the bracket. And that is equal to 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay. Then now consider this example. Now if you have x squared equals to 4, to remove this square value, what we do is we take the square root from both the sides. That is what we usually do. So even in this question, what we do is we have to take the square root value of both the sides. Now if I take the square root value of this part, x will come outside. Now you know the value of root 4 is 2. But the thing is, if you square plus 2, still you will get the answer plus 4. If you square minus 2, still you will get the answer plus 4. There is no change. Again, you know the value of root 4 is 2, that is fine. But If I square plus 2, then also you will get plus 4. If I square minus 2, then also the answer will be plus 4. Therefore, the square root value is not only 2, it is written as plus or minus 2. This is the sign, plus or minus. Why am I applying plus or minus is that even if you get plus 2 square, it will be plus 4. Even if you get minus 2 square, it will be plus 4. So remember very carefully in quadratic equation questions, especially when you are taking a square root value, you have to use plus or minus. Now after I open the square root, x plus 1 will come alone and this value will be taken as plus or minus 2. Alright. Square root 4 is taken as plus or minus 2. X plus 1 square, after taking the square root value, it will come out as x plus 1. Now, we have an answer like this. X plus 1 equals plus or minus 2. Now, I need to find the value of x. So, keep x alone. Take minus 1 to the other side. Sorry, plus 1 to the other side. It will become minus 1 plus or minus 2. Now, what we have to do is we have to break this answer into two parts using plus and minus. How we are going to create it? For one answer I can take x equals minus 1, out of this I can take plus 2. For the other answer I can take x equals minus 1 minus 2. Again, after taking to this step I can take plus 1 to the other side, it becomes minus 1. Then you have minus 1 plus or minus 2. Plus or minus value, I have broken it into two groups. Since I can't get the answers as it is, for the first part I have taken minus 1 plus 2. For the second one I have taken minus 1 minus 2. And hence, when you simplify, you will get the values. Minus 1 plus 2 is 1. Minus 1 minus 2 is minus 0. So here you will get two answers. One will be x equals minus 1 and the other value will be x equals to minus 3. Again, from the very beginning. First, when you are doing the completing squares, the first thing that you will check is that check whether this is alone or you have another number in front of x square. If you have another number in front of x square, we are going to use a separate step. If it is like this, no issue. First of all, take the whole number to the other side. So minus 3 I have taken to the other side, it has become plus 3. Now select the number in front of the x value, take it aside, divide by 2, you will get an answer. Take that answer down, square it, and again you will get a value. Take that value and add to both the sides of the equation. Then here you will have a binomial expansion. What I do is I will bring it to one complete bracket and 3 plus 1 will be 4. Now to remove this square value, I will take the square root of both the sides. When I take the square root of both the sides, x plus 1 will come out alone. I told you 4 we are not just going to write as plus 2 this time. We are going to use it as plus or minus 2. Then I have to find the value of x. Therefore plus 1 I am taking to the other side. It will become minus 1. Then I have minus 1 plus or minus 2. I am going to break it into two parts according to this sign. When x equals minus 1 plus 2 here, this is going to be x equals minus 1 minus 2. Henceforth you will get two answers. From this answer you will get x equals 1, minus 1 plus 2 is plus 1. Here x equals minus 1 minus 2, you will get the answer as minus 3. So this was the first example. Now we are moving on to the next. Second question. Right. Again in the second question, first check whether this is alone. It is alone here again. There is no coefficient. Coefficient is 1 here, so no problem. Then the first step you have to do is take the whole number to the other side. Okay. When you take the whole number to the other side, that is going to be x squared minus 4x equals minus 1. Okay, that is going to be x squared minus 4x equals to minus 1 when plus 1 is taken to the other side. Now select the number in front of x with the sign, okay, divide it by 2, and then you will get a value. So this is going to be -2 when you divide. Take -2 and square the value, then you will get the answers +4. Again, take the value in front of x, divide it by 2. Always you will divide by 2, then you will get an answer. In the next step, square the answer and you will get a value. Now bring that value and add to both the sides of the equation. That is, if I have x squared plus, use a separate color. Here it is going to be x squared minus 4x. From this side you have -1. So to both the sides I am going to add that +4. This 4 I have added to both the sides. Now I can bring it into one bracket from this side. It has to be a square. So out of the two x's, take one x inside, and I told you bring this value here. That is the easiest method to get the expansion into the bracket. Because if you expand and see, you will get that above answer. So from this side I have 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay. Now I want to remove this square value. For that I have to take the square root of both the sides. So I have to take the square root value of both the sides. Now there's a small issue. This is fine. X minus 2 will come out. No problem on that. But here there is an issue because 3 is not a perfect square. Because 3 is not a perfect square, you won't get a perfect whole number outside. Now in the previous question you had 4, no? 4 is fine, that is plus or minus 2. Even if you take 9, that is fine, that is plus or minus 3. But if you get a value like 2, root 2 value is not a whole number, you will get a decimal number there. So now for this question, these questions, what is easy for you is, in the paper they will give you the value. See, I have already given you the root 3 value in the question itself. Even in the exam paper, you will be given the square root value. So now here, don't do anything, just write it as plus or minus. I don't know the value of root 3, I will just write as plus or minus root 3 after taking out the square root. Here you can't take out the square root because it is not a perfect square. Now keep x alone, take minus 2 to the other side, it becomes plus 2 plus or minus square root 3. Okay, I have to keep x alone, so then minus 2 I will take to the other side, becomes plus 2 plus or minus 3. Just like the previous question, I am going to break it into two parts in terms of these two signs. Okay, how am I going to break it? I will take x equals 2 plus root 3, that is 1. Here x equals 2 minus root 3. Then the value 2 plus root 3 value is given as 1.73. This is going to be 2 minus 1.73. This is okay. This is going to be 3.73. But here, when you are subtracting, people make some children, they do it in a wrong way. See, when you have to subtract 2 minus 1.73, you have to properly order it. I will do it here. So that has to be 2 minus 1.73. So when you subtract it, 10 minus 3 is 7. Then here 9 minus 7 is 2. It was 1 here, so 1 minus 1 is 0. So then the answer will be 0.27. Don't do it in a wrong way. You can't just subtract 2 minus 1 is 1. You can't write like that. It is 2, it is a whole number, and 1.73 is a decimal. So when you are subtracting it, go in the decimal order, or else it will be wrong when you do the necessary. Okay. Again, I am going to explain from the very beginning. Listen very carefully. First of all, check whether x squared is alone. That means in front of x squared, check whether there is a number or not. If there is no number, then you have no problem. First step you're going to do is take the whole number to the other side of the equation. Okay, so then when +1 moves to the other side, becomes -1, right? Then take the value in front of x, take that value, divide by 2, get the answer, square it, and you will get another value. Take that answer and add to both the sides of the equation. Okay, take the value in front of x, divide by 2, get an answer, take that answer and square it, and then you will get a final value. That final value add to both the sides of the equation. Then this part you have to bring it to a bracket, complete square bracket. For that, out of 2x squares, I will take 1x here. This value minus the value you get by dividing the x term, I will put here, that is -2 squared equals 3. 4 minus 1 becomes 3. To remove the square value, I have to take the square root of both the sides. When I take the square root of both the sides, from this side x minus 2 will come out. That is fine because 2 is not having a problem. But here there is an issue because 3 is not a whole perfect square number. So you won't get a perfect value. So that is the reason I have just kept it as plus or minus 3. In the next step, x equals 2, that is -2 I have taken to the other side, plus or minus √3. Now I will break the answer as 2 plus √3 and x equals 2 minus √3. From these two I have broken down. Okay, and then now you have already been given the value of √3 in the paper itself. It is the normal order. Now I will take it, instead of √3 I will put 1.73, here the same thing. Then I will do the necessary operations. If you have to add, you have to add. If you have to subtract, you will have to subtract and get the value. Okay, so that is the second example. Always we have to go through the same order. Take the whole number to the other side, number 1. Take the x value, divide by 2, you will get an answer. Take that answer and square it, then you will get a value, that is number 2. Take that value, add to both the sides, that is number 3. Then you have to form the expansion to a perfect square, number 4. Take the square root and go through the simplification. Let's check with the next one, question number 3. Now there's a small difference with whatever we've been doing previously, is that here x squared value is not alone. You have a number in front of the x squared value. If you have a number in front of the x squared value, remember you can't go through the normal order as it is. There's a small thing here to do. First, take the equation. This is the equation you have been given. Okay. Divide all the terms by the number in front of x squared. That means, if you take, this is the number in front of x squared, right? Take all the terms and divide by that number. Alright? You can take all the terms and divide by that number. Now what you are going to do is 2 will cancel, then x squared will remain, plus 6 divided by 2 is 3, that is also fine. Okay, minus 5 divided by 2 I can't do, so keep it as it is. You can't divide, you won't get a whole number when you divide 5 divided by 2. So no need of dividing it, keep it as it is. Okay, keep it as it is. Again, check. I have 2x squared plus 6x minus 5 equal to 0. The problem was in front of x squared I had another number. So I had to divide everything by that number to keep x square alone, because completing squares you can apply when you have 1 in front of this x square value, or else it is difficult. That is why we say the formula method is way easier. Okay, that is why we say the formula method is way easier, because formula method you can apply for any question. Completing squares also you can, but there's a small thing. If you get a number in front of x squared value, you have to divide the entire thing by that number. Alright, so now I divided everything by 2, so 2 will cancel in the first part. Here 6 divided by 2 will become 3, that is also done, minus 5 divided by 2 you cannot divide, you won't get a whole number, so I keep it as it is. Now the normal steps are done, you can move on with the normal procedures. Now what we can do is we can take this term, move to the next part of the equation, to the other side of the equation. This is going to be x squared plus 3x. From this side I will have 5 divided by 2. Alright, take this value, like I said previously, divide it by 2 with the sign. So you still here again there's another issue, you cannot divide it because you won't get a whole number. So still you will have to keep it as a fraction. In the next step, take that and square it. So 3 squared will be 9, 2 squared will be 4. When you are squaring it every time, the numerator and the denominator both should be squared. It's not only the numerator or the denominator, both has to be squared when you are squaring it. So take that value, come to this answer and add it to both the sides. 9 over 4 to this side as well. I will add 9 over 4. Again I am explaining this situation. First, when we started with the equation, x squared had a coefficient that was 2. Again I am explaining, when you are using completing squares, this term should be 1. There shouldn't be any term in front of x squared. Always there has to be 1 here. Okay. So for that purpose, to keep it 1, take the number in front of x squared, divide everything, all the terms by that number, it will cancel. The x squared will remain here. 6 divided by 2 is 3 and minus 5 over 2 equal to 0. Why I did not divide this part is I can't divide it because I won't get a whole number. So I have to keep it as a fraction. Now take it to the other side in the next step. Then take the number in front of x, divide by 2, you will get an answer. Here again you can't divide because it is not a whole number. Bring it to the next stage, square it, then you will get a value. That value you have to add to both the sides of the equation. Now we have to go into the normal order. This has to be taken as a into the bracket. For that same method, you have 2 x's here, just take 1 x out of it, and this value we have to put it inside the bracket. Open the bracket and see, you will always get this answer. This can be further simplified, children. So simplify here as it is. That is going to be 19 over 4. When you simplify these two fractions, you will get a value called 19 over 4. That value I will take here. 19 over 4. Now what I am going to do is, just like the previous questions, I have to take the square root values. So I will take the square root value of both the sides. Then this is fine. I will get x plus 3 over 2. Here I will get root 19. I don't know, so I have to keep it inside. 4 I know it is 2, but don't forget plus or minus. Okay. Don't forget plus or minus. You have to keep it. Okay. Plus or minus should be kept. That is, that plus or minus is included for both. Root 19 and 2, both it is included. Then what I am going to do is, keeping the answer as it is, I will take x equals, take plus 3 over 2 to the other side. It will become minus 3 over 2 plus or minus root 19 over 2. Again, I will take plus 3 over 2 to the other side. It becomes minus 3 over 2 plus or minus root 19 over 2. Now again I have to break it. Before that I'll have to erase it. Check whether you understand this part, where first I have to keep x squared as a number with 1 as the coefficient. So take the value in front of x and divide the entire thing. Then I took it into this step. Then I take minus 5 over to the other side. Take the value in front of x, divide it by 2, and since because you cannot get a whole number here, you get a fraction. Take the fraction down, square it, you will get an answer. That answer should be added to both the sides of the equation. Right. Now I'm going to erase that part so that I can explain the final answer. Moving to the final answer. Now I have to break this into 2 parts. That is either x equals minus 3 over 2 plus root 19 over 2, and another one I can take that is x equals minus 3 over 2 minus root 19 over 2. So then from this side I can take 2 as the common denominator, minus 3 plus root 19 value they have given as 4.36, so I can keep it as 4.36. That is going to be minus 3 plus 4.36 is going to be 1.36 divided by 2. We will divide it. From this side I can take 2 down, minus 3 minus 4.36. Both are minus, same sign, so keep the common sign and add these two. That is going to be 7.36 divided by 2. Then the final answers will be, here I will get 0.68. Yes, 0.68. From this side I will get the answer minus 3.68. So those will be the two answers I will get for the value of x from the completing squares method in this question. The only change we did in this question was that because it had another number in front of x squared, we had to divide the entire equation by that particular number and start doing the question. Right. So now in this lesson we have learned about how to solve the quadratic equation using the completing squares method. Now especially if you consider the last part we have done, the last question, it was a bit difficult to do it using completing. Those equations are easily done or easily solved using the formula method, which we will learn it in our next lesson. So I hope you understood the first part of this lesson, that was the completing squares part. So I will meet you with the next part, that is going to be the formula. Thank you, and may God bless you all.